Hey everybody, it's Gene O'Neill with the American Cartel podcast series. Hey listen, voting isn't just going to the polls anymore. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity. You see, How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, breaks down the options your state offers for casting a ballot, empowering you to decide when and where to vote. How to Vote is easy to use, and it helps folks from all over the country overcome many of the process barriers to voting. Democracy Works is committed to helping you vote no matter what. Their tool, How to Vote, does just that. Decide when and where you'll vote this year at howto.vote. That's howto.vote. On last week's episode of the American Cartel, DEA agent Molly Finn was found floating in the Chattahoochee River with a single gunshot wound to the head. FBI Special Agent in Charge, Jesse Hunt, is starting to believe that both DEA agent Molly Finn and Dominique Jackson's murders are both related. But how? Michael Cardone, head of the Cardone crime family, is in town to discuss the future of the family business. Cable news network reporter Alexa Ewing awaits a second call from the mystery caller who seems to be one step ahead of the FBI and the Atlanta police. Now the question that's on her mind is, will he call again, and what's coming next? You're listening to the American Cartel. Hey everybody, it's Gene O'Neill with the American Cartel podcast series. This year, with changes to polling places and vote by mail laws as a result of the COVID-19, it's more important than ever to have a plan to vote. Your vote matters, and even though this is a presidential election, there are many more candidates on the ballot besides the president. Go to ballotready.org for a nonpartisan guide to your entire ballot. From there, you can compare candidates based upon stance on issues such as their biography, their endorsements, and they can even save your choices to use when you vote by mail or in the voting booth. You can even request your absentee ballot or make a plan to vote early or on election day. This election matters. Make sure you have a plan to vote and vote informed. Go to ballotready.org. That's ballotready.org and enter your address to make a plan to vote. And remember, vote informed. I'm Gene O'Neill with the American Cartel podcast series, and I'll see you on Election Day. (9:21 a.m.) Russell Senate Office Building, Washington, D.C. Georgia U.S. Senator Alicia Woods, whose congressional district falls right in the middle of where Dominique Jackson's shooting took place. She's sitting at her desk taking a phone call from Atlanta Mayor Raven Hill, getting updates on Dominique Jackson's shooting. Senator Alicia Woods, who grew up in the Auburn Avenue neighborhood, knew Dominique since he was a little boy. Mayor Hill tells Senator Alicia Woods that as of right now, the investigation is ongoing. However, with the death of DEA agent Molly Finn, the situation is taking a sharp turn. The mayor continues by saying that as of right now, it appears that both murders may be related. Senator Woods interrupts the mayor by saying that her own sources are reporting that this is a potential cover-up. The mayor is quiet for a few seconds, then continues by saying that the city of Atlanta cannot afford another riot. 9:43 a.m. Atlanta Police Precinct, CIS Unit. CIS Officer Devin Scott arrives early to finish processing Dominique Jackson's Cadillac Escalade. Devin Scott was unable to plant the gun under the seat because of all the attention the case was getting from his coworkers and immediate supervisor on yesterday. Devin Scott couldn't resist the $20,000 bribe to simply place the gun under the seat once a truck arrived at the police garage. A week before Dominique's death, Devin received an unexpected phone call from an old friend who gave him the cash up front to deliver the gun. No questions asked, no further contact. Just make sure the 9mm is placed under the seat. However, Devin Scott was puzzled by why his childhood friend would do this. Why would he want to set up Dominique and get him killed? The old friend is a very close member to Dominique's family. You're listening to the American Cartel. Meanwhile, across town, DEA Atlanta Field Office, Midtown. DEA Special Agent in Charge Paul Parker is in a private meeting with DEA Agent Ray Wilson, Molly Finn's former partner, along with Atlanta Precinct Commander Pike, Atlanta Internal Affairs Lieutenant Tina Clark, FBI Special Agent in Charge Jesse Hunt, Atlanta Police Chief Lisa Bell, and Atlanta Mayor Raven Hill. The tension is growing by the minute as everyone is talking at the same time. DEA Agent Paul Parker interrupts by saying that preliminary reports have come back, and it shows that Agent Finn was killed at very close range with a single gunshot to the right side temple by a 9mm handgun. Preliminary reports also show that Agent Finn was sexually assaulted during that time. Special Agent Parker pauses as he looks around the room. Then continued by saying that FBI lab also found Dominique Jackson's semen on her underwear. Everyone stops talking and the room goes quiet. You're listening to the American Cartel. "10:23 a.m. Atlanta Cable News Network reporter Alexa Ewing sits at her desk, getting more anxious by the second. Alexa keeps looking at her watch, wondering if the mysterious caller will call back. The caller had knowledge of missing federal agent information before it was released by the feds or the news media. Alexa is starting to wonder if she was talking to a potential witness or to the actual killer. Alexa looks down at her watch once again, then decides to have a late breakfast. As she starts to walk away from her desk, her cell phone rings from an unidentified caller. Later that morning, Cascade Heights, Jackson family estate. Tia Jackson sits at Dominique Jackson's desk looking over bank statements and his will. Dominique made wise decisions with investments all around the metro Atlanta area. The family would never have to worry about money ever again. Tia Jackson is thinking to herself, she never thought a time would come so soon that she would be in this kind of situation. Tia always envisioned that they would just die of old age, not being murdered by the Atlanta police in broad daylight. Tia continues in deep thought with the fact that even though they were in the business, Dominique was a very likable person by everyone he encountered. You would never know by talking to him that he was Atlanta's biggest heroin and cocaine dealer throughout the South. Tia looks around the large office and she can still smell Dominique's scent. Today is the day. The family will meet with Michael Cardone later today at his hotel. Tia Jackson only met Michael Cardone once a few years ago in New York City. Dominique personally took care of all the Bronx, New York's territory. Tia Jackson continues to look around the room again. as if she could hear Dominique Jackson's voice telling her to be very careful with Michael Cardone. 30 minutes later, Trey Nightmare Jackson's top goon, KP, is sitting outside the trap house on Rockwell Street, southwest side of Atlanta. The family runs 20 plus spots all over the city. Never seen during the day at a trap house, KP personally oversees a crew of 100 workers throughout the city. However, today is a very special visit. Rumor has it, Trap House Lieutenant Jamal has been serving and robbing customers at the same time. KP has been getting a lot of complaints over the last few weeks. Today is a day to take a visit to the trap house to visit Jamal and then go to the basement. As KP continues to wait for his guest Jamal, his cell phone rings. It's his boss, Trey Nightmare Jackson, letting him know to drop Jamal off and meet him outside the spot for the Cardone meeting in a few hours. They would deal with Jamal when the meeting is over. 5 minutes later, Jamal pulls up in his Range Rover, hops into the Tahoe with KP, asking him, "Are the strippers still in the basement?" KP smiles, telling him, "Yeah, they've been waiting all night." You're listening to The American Cartel. Hey everybody, it's Gene O'Neill with the American Cartel podcast series. Quick question, are you registered to vote? HeadCount is a nonpartisan organization that works with the music and entertainment industry to get fans to vote. HeadCount is a nonpartisan nonprofit that tours with musicians to help concert attendees register to vote. You don't have to leave your house to register or get voting information. Just visit headcount.org. You can also request an absentee ballot, get information on early voting, find a polling place near you, or just see what's on the ballot. You can also check or update your voter registration. Go to headcount.org where you'll find all the information you need to be ready for Election Day. Noon, the St. Regis Hotel, Midtown Atlanta. Michael Cardone awaits his meeting with Dominique Jackson's family. As he stares out of the window in his private suite on the 24th floor, Michael Cardone is thinking about the remaining family members. He knows that Tia Jackson is considered to be next in command following Dominique's death. However, will Tia Jackson be able to maintain control with 3 siblings watching very closely? Michael Cardone looks down on Peachtree Street watching the busy traffic as he continues in deep thought, thinking about the $100 million in sales the family built while Dominique Jackson was in federal prison. Being the family's only supplier, this multi-state operation has made Michael Cardone a very rich man. Then again, with large profits at stake, it's hard for him not to think about a takeover soon. There's just one problem. Trey Nightmare Jackson won't make this even easy. But then again, maybe just kill Trey Jackson and the rest of the family. Michael Cardone continues looking down on Peachtree Street when he noticed that the family is pulling up one by one to valet service. He now knows that a plan must be put together with killing the family soon. Meanwhile, across town, Jamal awakens in a dark room with a very bad headache. The last thing he remembered as he walked down the stairs towards the basement was a sharp sting at the back of his neck. As he tries to see in the dark, he realized that he was somehow drugged while talking to KP. He tries to look around the room again with no luck. He suddenly knows for sure that he's in the basement. He can smell the stank blood that reeks throughout the